Hey beautiful people, welcome to your third video of your booming bodywork or business bootcamp. Woo-hoo. So I have a really important action step for you to take. So be sure that you listen until the end of this video because that will be there for you. And I am going to talk today about your soulmate client. Who is this soulmate client of yours? Because one thing that I want you to really understand and hit home with is that you cannot serve everybody, okay? To say that you have a practice and you want everybody to come because you want everybody to be able to receive your healing sessions, your yoga classes, your intuitive coaching, that is not going to work because you were not made to serve every single person. Okay, you don't have resonant vibration with every single person. So part of understanding who your soulmate client is understanding who you have resonant vibration with. And that is why doing the previous steps of making sure that you are behaving in the way that you want your clients to behave is so important. So let's talk about your soulmate client. And one of the first things that we want to start to understand is what are their pain points? Where do they feel pain? So for some people, this can be emotional pain, right? Maybe they're in the middle of a loss. They've lost a parent, or they're in the middle of a divorce, and you want to be able to give them safe touch and nurture them through that. Perhaps they've been in a car accident, and you were also in a car accident. You've gone through that experience, and you want to be able to support and nurture them through that. So what are their pain points? For some people, it might also be those really busy entrepreneurs that just aren't able to really make time for themselves, and you're a way that they could commit to time for themselves. So that 1 hour a week that they don't have their phone turned on, you can provide that for them. So the results are going to be the cure to their pain, right? They're going to help solve this pain pattern, and it might not be long term. Like maybe they're always going to have some kind of pain because of a particular condition that they have, like fibromyalgia. Maybe they have had, multiple shoulder surgeries and have had a lot of pain there, and you can help reduce that pain, but it's something that they're going to be working with in some way, shape, or form for a long, long time. But knowing this soulmate client is what's going to help your message stand out, because there's a lot of healing art practitioners out there, right? And if you're just putting up signs that say massage or intuitive coaching and you're just plastering it everywhere without a message that's attached to it, that's presented for your soulmate client, then you're just going to be another voice in the chorus, right? So how do you stand out and become that lead singer? So in your guidebook, if you turn to the soulmate client section, you'll see a series of questions that I have. And it's kind of like a client mad lib, so to speak, but it's a way of really defining those people that light you up so that you also feel resourced, so that you can avoid burnout in this profession that you love so much, that you've invested your time and your money into becoming. And this module is really the glue to your strategy, okay? So take time to go deep on some of these questions, and you might need to pause this video or come back and just sit for a few minutes with some of these questions and really settle in to what these answers are. However, you might find that the answers just come quickly. And if you have that impulse off the top of your head, go with that. Okay, don't let yourself question whether it's right or wrong. Usually the first thing that we come up with is the right thing, okay? So generally speaking, when we're considering our soulmate client, how old is your client? So think of your favorite client that you saw today or yesterday. How old are they? And their gender, and this is something that could be fluid, right? It's not necessarily male, female, it could be non-binary, maybe they're transgender. Do you work with the gay population? So you can use that to help hone in your messaging and who you're attracting into your practice. Marital status, okay? Do they have children? How old are their kids? And the way that you would address and want to focus on someone who has kids that are like maybe breastfeeding, and their treatment plan would be different than a parent that has, say, their last child is heading off to college and they're going to be an empty nester, right? Like that messaging for those two groups of people will be different. What do they do for a living? And what's their income level? And what are the values and the beliefs that they have in their life? So you can go back to that value sheet and just sit with this question, like, what do they really value? Where do they shop at? Are they shopping at Target, or are they going to local stores? Are they buying organic, or are they just buying bulk conventional? And that's going to orient how you speak to your client, right? And it will orient the offering that you make for those people too. So if someone's, wanting to go to Costco and buy bulk packages of things, then you know that they're going to be someone who will really appreciate having a nice package offer. So you can create that with them in mind. You can even get really nitty-gritty into the details and start to question, like, what are their favorite books? What are their favorite movies? What are their favorite TV shows? And I know like all of these about my clients, and they're connection points for us. So when they come in and we're doing an intake, and I ask, how they're feeling in their body, and I usually ask what they've been doing with their body lately. And they'll share with me that they're gardening, right? Or biking or whatever. And then that will lead us to a little bit of engagement and reciprocity with, if they've been with their family or their friends. And then maybe they read a book afterwards. What are you reading? And then we'll connect a little bit about that. And it's a way that we're really able to on a heart level. And I love all of my clients so much because I know these things about them, and they're resonant for me because those are the same kind of books that I read, or that I would want to read. Those are the same kind of activities that I like to do. So how they're operating in their free time, and who they spend their free time with. Are they going out to clubs? Are they dancing a lot? Are they going to breweries? Do they go to coffee shops? Are they with groups of friends, or are they just with one other person? Like who is this person that you're speaking to? And it's really important to think about what social media platforms they're on, because this is a place where they're hanging out, right? So plastering the town with signs about something, general, is going to just be one instrument in an orchestra. But when you can go right to that one place, say, I really want to work with mechanics that have back pain. My dad was a mechanic, he always had back pain. I saw that, I lived with it, I was able to really help him. I want to work with mechanics that have back pain. Where do mechanics hang out? Okay? And where are they hanging out on social media? Are there forums that they're on? Are there Facebook groups that they're on? Go to those places so that you can hang out with them. And then you can start to talk about your offer, right? And you can connect with them in a heartfelt, authentic way. Get to know who they are and what their pain is. Start to understand who else these people are following. Okay? What's their previous bodywork experience? Have they gone to massage clinics at the school? Have they had a practitioner for 30 years that's retired and now they're looking for a new practitioner? What worked and what didn't work with their previous practitioner? Maybe they were with someone for a long time, but now they're feeling out of alignment with them, and you want to understand why they were feeling out of alignment with them, because that's going to help you, A, know if you're in alignment with them, right? And then B, if there's someone else you can refer them to, or if there's something that you can do to help you have a more harmonious relationship if you maybe aren't in alignment with them right away. And sometimes those relationships can grow over a couple of sessions. Sometimes we know right away, if someone is going to stay and be your person. And sometimes you're like, let's just do another couple of sessions and see how things go, right? And I will often give that as a treatment plan when I'm not fully convinced after the first session that we're a solid match. I'll usually say, we need 2 more sessions. Like 3 sessions is really where I'm like, okay, we're grooving and we're going to be a good match for each other, or I need to refer you to someone else. So you'll start to learn, if you don't already know, what that is in your practice, how many sessions it takes you to really attune vibrationally to your person. So what objections might this person have to a massage? So going back to my example of a mechanic. So say my dad, let's just say my dad, for example, who worked on a railroad for 30 years, and he sat in really terrible posture for a long time on a locomotive, and he has the mirror of that posture today, and he occasionally has back pain from it. And so I'm trying to educate him the benefits of getting regular body work. And I don't want to be his body worker. I am not his person, but there are some other people I know that would be really good matches for him that I put him with. And he likes it okay, but he's not like completely sold that it's the thing for him. And so I need to give him more education, but not only like that scientific, like here are the benefits of massage as is proved by X, Y, and Z, but more like that overcoming objection. So for him, he has this belief that body work is really an extravagance. People might think that yoga is an extravagance. They might think private yoga is an extravagance. They might think coaching is an extravagance. So my dad does believe that body work is an extravagance. So where I come to within that conversation is I explain, because he's someone who really values and takes care of his things. So I explain, like, well, you have a vehicle, you would not travel more than your 3,000 to 5,000 miles without an oil change. You would take care of that. And he says, well, yeah, of course. I'm like, well, why is your body less important than your vehicle? And that hits him, right? He's like, oh, I need to tune up my body too. And I use this for a lot of people. I use it for people who are bikers, mountain bikers. I'll talk about, the need to take care of your equipment, skiers. So anyone that has any kind of equipment in your life, if that's part of your target, then use that language. I invite you to use this language to help them attune to the value and help to overcome that objection. Okay. So now getting into their pain points. What's their main complaint? Is it that back pain? Is it stress? Right? Are they just really low energy? And you know that they could have so much more energy if their alignment was better and they had more fluidity within their motions. And what's the impact of this pain? So when they start to understand that there is a cost to their pain, that they're losing days of work because they have a headache every month that's so severe, it's a migraine, and they need to hide away, and they lose days of work from that every single month. What's the cost of that? So over the course of a year, missing 2 or 3 days a month is almost a month worth of work. What is that valued to them? So when we put that in a comparison, then the price of getting a massage actually is not very much, right? The price of going to that yoga private. What's the impact of this pain in their relationships? So say you're a relationship coach, think about what their pain, their physical pain, or their emotional pain, their traumatic pain from past relationships, the pain of this divorce. Imagine what this is doing to their other relationships. What's the cost of that? And make that known to them, because chances are they haven't really sat and thought about what the cost of this pain is for them. What's the impact of this pain in their health and wellness? Okay, how are they not able to move? So as a body worker, I had a person come to me for a long time that really needed a hip replacement. He was a paratrooper, he had a lot of injuries in his hips. I would help him out, and within a few days he'd be right back to where he started, and he really needed a hip replacement. And his doctor kept telling him that he should wait 10 years because a hip replacement is about a 20-year surgery before it will have to be redone. And he was 40. The doctor was like, wait till 50. Well, over the course of a year, I saw him gain 60 pounds because he was so sedentary. It was so painful for him to move. I had to really sit him down and say, look, the cost of you not being active is going to be so much on your health and your wellness that waiting 10 years won't be worth it. It won't be worth it. Plus, like at the end of the day, you could get hit by a car tomorrow and not be living anymore. So while you have these days, while you have your youth, I'm going to really encourage you to try to see if you can get this surgery done so that you can be vibrant and active in your youth. And he ended up doing it, and it was like the best thing for him. He was able to move and be free, and he lost a bunch of weight right away. And his overall sense of wellness and his mental health really improved from it too. So sometimes those are conversations we need to have with people. Like if you're not if I'm a life coach and I'm supporting someone who wants to transition from their job, and they're not, they're giving me reasons why they shouldn't when they're telling me that they want to. We get to sit down and we get to look at, like, what is this cost on your health and wellness? What is the cost of this stress in your life? And the most valuable thing we have is time. If someone is not where they need to be because they're not aligned properly, then their time is going out the window. We need to help them reclaim that time. So that pain on their time, on their money, and on their freedom. Okay. So when it comes to pain, there are these pain points that people will tell you about. There are pain points that they won't tell you about, and there are pain points that they can't tell you about because these are their deepest fears. So, an example could be a pain point. Say I have a nursing mom, okay? And as a new mom, you're holding a baby and you're usually hunched over a lot. So moms really benefit from this kind of like frontline work and neck work and all of that. So they help to open up that front line. So they'll come in and they'll talk about, oh, I'm just holding baby, I'm hunched over all the time. Okay. So they're telling you about their pain. But they're, what they're not telling me is maybe that they wish that they had more support from their partner at night, that they felt like they were really alone in the nightly feedings of this baby. And then further down the line, what they can't tell me about, and these are maybe the fears that they haven't really come to know themselves, but we just hold space for all the realm of possibility, right? So what they can't tell you is that their parents got divorced when they were just 1 year old, and they're really worried that since they're not getting the support from the partner in the way that they want, that they're not going to survive in their marriage. And they have this new baby and they're going to become a single parent, and it will be really overwhelming, and all these things that they saw already happen in a life as from a child witnessing, that's going to replay out. So that's just one example, right? And this can show up so many other ways. Oh, and I see. Hi, Abby. I'm so glad you're here. That can show up so many other ways for them as well. So their pain points, what they will tell you, what they won't tell you, and then what they can't tell you. Okay? So we just get to hold space for all of it. Oh, hi, Heather. I'm so glad you're here too. So all of these things that we are uncovering here is helping us get to know that soulmate client. Okay, get to know the people that we're really vibrationally attuning to. So let's shift a little bit here. So we're talking about the pain points of that person. We have a sense of who they are. Now let's talk about the result. What is the result that someone gets by working with you? And this again is like your unique result. Like there's benefits that they will receive from everybody, but because you are you, and you've only walked in your shoes. No one else has ever walked in your shoes. You have a certain unique medicine that you are able to give your people that they can't get from anywhere else. You can't go to the Fred Meyer pharmacy and say, hey, can I get some, a bottle of Elizabeth Ruff pills? No, that doesn't work like that, right? So what are these results? And this is a really important step. I want you to take time with this too. You might go along with me. Again, if it comes off the top of your head, flow with it. If you feel stuck, give it a little bit of time, because this is going to form what will be called your result statement. And I have this little bit of homework coming up for you in a few minutes that I want you to do with this result statement. So when you're thinking about the kind of results that your ideal clients want, start to consider if it's decreased pain, decreased stress, if they want improved range of motion, if they want to feel at home in their job, if you're that life coach, if they want to feel safe in their relationship, if they want to have more strength or more flexibility, if they want to connect to their heart center. Okay, what are these results? And then what are the benefits from these results? So how does this result benefit their job? How would they be, better with their job, their vocation, if they did have more connection to their heart? What about their relationships? Okay, if they had no back pain and they didn't have to come home and, take a ton of ibuprofen and lay on the floor for an hour, could their relationship improve? Could they have more engagement with their partner? Going on to health and wellness again, like if they were able to walk freely, if they were able to find liberation in their low back and their hip, could they potentially increase their health? And then time, money, and freedom again. And these are PowerPoints, right? When we start talking about health, time, money, relationships, those are all PowerPoints. Those are what people will buy. And a hot tip is that they don't care what kind of tool you have. They don't care if it's a Swedish massage or Reiki or structural integration bodywork or Anusara yoga or Vinyasa yoga or integral life coaching. If you are getting them a result, they don't care. They won't care, because what you have are tools. So if I am out on the street and I see a plumbing truck, okay, that plumbing truck doesn't have on it wrenches, snakes, infrared water detectors. They don't have a list of their tools. What that plumbing truck says is 24-hour leak repair. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have a leak in my sink. I'm calling that plumber because they'll fix it in 24 hours. I don't care what kind of tool they have. So when you're talking about these results, when you're talking about the benefits of your practice, lead with that. You want freedom from low back pain so that you can be more engaged with your family when you come home from work? Call me, right? And then, later in some marketing material, you can talk a little bit about like what you do, but they're interested in what the benefit is, okay? So these results. So when it comes to the this result statement, so just moving down this sheet a little bit here, when we have opportunities to meet new people, it's an opportunity to attract our soulmate client. All right? And again, not everybody is your soulmate client. So you have this opportunity though, when you meet someone new, to just be curious, like, are we brought together here by divine orchestration because you're potentially a soulmate client of mine, or I'm your soulmate practitioner? Or maybe not, right? So you have this window of time to lead with your benefits. So one of the questions people often ask when they're first meeting someone new is like, what do you do? How do you spend your time? So this result statement that I have here, this little practice for you, is a way for you to figure out a statement that is wholehearted, that's completely authentic in you, and you can lead with this. Okay, leading with your benefits. Hi, my name is Elizabeth. Hi, I'm Elizabeth, and I help active 50-somethings recover from injury and chronic pain so they can move more gracefully and continue to enjoy the full life they love. Right? I'm leading with that benefit. I help this person. So you go back up, you have your soulmate client, everything you just wrote, you help this type of person relieve that what kind of pain so they can have a result and the benefit of that. Okay? And then the question will open. They'll be like, oh my gosh, I totally have this low back pain and I've been, mountain biking and I fell and it's like so uncomfortable. What do you do anyway? And that's when you can start to bring in some of your tools. You can be, oh, I'm a yoga teacher. I do aerial yoga and I help people on these trapezes to really decompress their spines. It's super fun. I would love for you to come in and learn more. Oh yeah, great. Then you can start to build that into the conversation. But if you had led that conversation, right? If you had led that conversation with, oh, I teach aerial yoga and this person has never done yoga before and they have this low back injury, that could potentially scare them, right? They're like, this chick does aerial yoga and I have this low back injury, and they'll be like, oh, sounds like a lot of fun. Or if you lead with, this is one of my like pet peeves, right? If you say, oh, I'm a massage therapist, and then the joke is, do you give happy endings? Ha ha ha. Or, hey, I want a discount, right? There's like, oh, do you give friends and family favors? Like, there's this stuff that can live underneath that. But when you approach with that benefit, you're like, I help 50-somethings relieve low back pain so you can live the full active life that you love. And they're like, oh my gosh, my back is aching. I'm 50-something. I just had this mountain bike accident. What do you do? I need that help. And I'm like, I do some of Bodywork. It's deep. It's uncomfortable. I'll totally help you. Where do I sign up? Like, I barely have to tell them any more than that if I'm leading with that benefit. So you have less objections when you're leading with benefit. Okay? So you have all of this in your document. If you haven't filled it out as we've gone along, make sure that you take some time and go through it. And now for your homework assignment. I'm glad some of you are still here watching, because this is going to draw in. This is going to really help you connect authentically with some people in your current audience who maybe don't know what you do, or they're not quite sure what you do. They've never thought to ask, or they maybe have had like some of those weird objections around what you do. So I want you to go and make a Facebook post or Instagram post or whatever kind of social media template you're on. But if you're on Facebook, use one of the plain colored backgrounds. Now it has to be plain colored because the algorithm loves that and it will show up more for some reason. Plain color. Okay? And think about the pain point that you solve. So if you are helping people with low back pain, then your question, and you want to phrase this as a question because people love answering questions. And when your post is commented on, it will show up more in people's feeds, so you'll have a bigger reach. So you want to ask a question that people are going to want to answer. So if it's this low back pain, right? Whatever, stress. Let's just say stress because it's pretty generic, right? I mean, everybody has stress at some point. Like, what is the most frustrating thing that you experience around stress? All right, that's what I want you to post. What is the most frustrating thing you experience around, and then fill in that pain point, that pain that you solve. What is the most frustrating thing that you experience around pain point? Okay. Now, what will happen is people will comment and you have to reply to their comments. So when someone says, oh, I'm so frustrated that, stress gets in the way of me having good sleep, or stress makes me eat too much, or whatever, you need to go in and reply and say, oh my gosh, I feel you, I hear that, or that sounds really hard. Give them some kind of resonant vibration so that you're able to connect with them. You're witnessing them, okay? So you make this post, it's on that plain colored background. What is the most frustrating thing you experience about blank problem that you solve? They're going to answer those questions. You're going to reply. And every time you reply, it also keeps your post up and relevant, okay? So now in the next couple days, the replies will slow down. Go through and look at those replies. Go through and look at those replies. What are people telling you? What are people telling you? Okay, it'll be interesting. Some people are telling you that they want to come and see you, that they need your help. And if you notice that, if you're like, wow, this person is totally aligned with me, then you can continue to comment with them. You could shoot them a DM. You can say, I really have something that I think could be in service to you. And tell them your result statement. I help 50-somethings recover from low back pain so that they can live full and happy lives again. Would you like to learn more about how I do this? And let them take it from there. You don't want to be, cold DMing people or anything, but you're just engaging in conversation. So you start doing this, do this, and then maybe do one more next week, find a different pain point that you work with, and just see what happens. Okay? Just see the conversations that you're able to get into. All right, so thank you for watching to the end. I really wanted you to get that homework assignment. Now go do it and then pop into the Facebook group and let us know how it goes. All right, and those of you who got the email today and who are on right now, I have a super special bonus for you. On the 17th of this month, I'm leading a money in your nervous system class with Heather McAbee. Now Heather is an amazing money magician. She has history of corporate accounting and does this really beautiful resonance repatterning work. And together we're going to collaborate. So if you notice that you have some blocks around that income manifestation sheet, that raising your prices doesn't feel good, but you want more income, come to this class because we're going to really help you overcome some of those blocks in your nervous system. And sometimes these can be deep-seated nervous system patterns. Okay, so this is a special bonus that we've created for those of you who signed up for this boot camp. So way to go, you made it to the end of video 3 and you're learning about this bonus and you have this great Facebook post to make. Make the post, let us know how it goes, and then sign up for the class with Heather and I. So that's next Friday, the 17th, 9 a.m. Pacific time. Okay, thank you so much for being on here. I'm so glad that you did this boot camp, and I really hope that you're pushing some edges of your booming bodywork business now. Okay, take care, lots of love. Mwah.